So Ed joins us now with more on this. So Ed, as far as I understand it, this group, DarkSide, said that they focus on private companies. But the problem with private companies, particularly private companies that provide energy or other utilities, is that if you attack them, it reverberates throughout the whole economy, which is basically, you know, what the expert in your story is suggesting, that the U.S. government has to sort of step in. How is the U.S. responding to this attack, and what more do we know about this alleged hacking group, DarkSide?
Well, and to a limited extent, really, the U.S. government can step in, because if Colonial Pipeline or these other private companies don't come to the government and say, we need your help, then there's only so much that the government can do but stand there and sort of watch it happen. And then step in later to clean up the mess. And this is becoming a mess with these gas shortages now, or feared gas shortages down south, gas lines that are probably going to continue throughout the day-to-day as people get worried about the potential for a short-term supply issue. See, here at the White House overnight or late into the night, the White House made clear that they're continuing to update the president regularly. They point out that the administration is trying to find ways to mitigate concerns about the supply, and that they'll continue to monitor this. You know, this actually touches dozens of federal agencies or offices, from the Energy Department to the Transportation Department, which over the weekend made it easier for trucks to transport fuel if need be to meet the supply concerns, to the Homeland Security Department, given the cybersecurity concerns, the Defense Department as well. So, you know, a lot of different people involved, and the White House here is obviously trying to coordinate it. But again, if it's a private company that's been hit and they're not seeking government support, all they can really do is stand by to prepare to deal with the fallout, and part of the fallout, as you pointed out, will be the economic concerns. This hacking group appears to be Russia-based, as you said, appears to be one that targets primarily the private sector. Some of the cybersecurity officials we've spoken to say that it is primarily focused on, in essence, getting a hold of the information that a company may have, and not only encrypts the user's data, but then threatens to make it public if ransom isn't paid. And ransom can run anywhere from about $200,000 to $2 million. They've posted some of this information from those they've hacked from about 40 different entities around the world, but it's believed they've targeted many more. And one of the more interesting developments that we saw here in the last 24 hours or so is the fact that the FBI has normally advised private companies or individuals not to pay the ransom. But you heard the Deputy National Security Advisor for Cybersecurity here at the White House lectern yesterday saying, look, in some cases, private companies may not have a choice given the information that the hackers are able to get. Didn't confirm that Colonial Pipeline has actually paid the ransom, wouldn't get into that. And frankly, the government may not even know, because it is a private company. But signaled that this administration at least has an understanding that in some cases companies may have no choice because of the severity of the attack.
Pfizer's COVID vaccine has been authorized for use in kids 12 and older by the FDA. So when can we expect it to be made available? And then what comes next in the Biden administration's COVID-19 strategy?
Right. So we're told that there's one more meeting over at the CDC tomorrow regarding this. And basically the director has to sign off and dot I's, cross T's, essentially. And once that happens, as early as tomorrow night, conceivably, pharmacies, pediatricians, others can start giving out the shots to kids aged 12 to 15 alongside adults at vaccination sites across the country. Clearly, a lot of parents are going to have questions. It'll be on the doctors to answer those questions. There's been a lot of good reporting in recent days about concerns that parents are raising about vaccinating pubescent children, for example, the fact that there could be side effects that are unforeseen, at least as of now. But so far, medical experts say there's no reason to believe there are. Beyond this, obviously, there'll be a push to get to get children vaccinated, to encourage parents to allow them to be. Saw one thing yesterday that said that parents won't necessarily need to be present for the shot to be given. So that's another way of easing the access to the vaccine. Although I'm sure medical professionals would be happy if an entire family showed up together and did it at once if they wanted to. The other thing to watch is once we get into children under the age of 12, how will the dosing and the way it's given to children, basically birth to 11, change from those 12 plus. There are concerns about giving too much to those younger children who also can be a little more vulnerable to the variants. But, at this point, the administration just continuing to encourage people to do this. You'll see this later today when the president talks to governors from across the country. And the administration also quite pleased to see that private sector attempts to do this, like giving away free beer or free alcohol to people to get their shots. A shot for a shot seems to be working in very limited examples across the country. And they say, look, if that's what it takes, drink up.
You know, Ed, I'm working on a piece for CBS This Morning on exactly that, the incentives that are being offered. There are a number of them here in New York City, and almost in every instance, whether it's Junior's Cheesecake or for free tickets to the American Museum of Natural History, the people who are running these incentives say it is working. They are getting people through the doors.
You getting free cheesecake out of that?
Yes, I did. Just showed my vaccine card. Free Nathan's hot dogs. It was a wonderful day for me and my producers. But turning to a serious subject, Ed, before we let you go, what's going on with the Israeli-Palestinian conflict over the last couple of days? Weeks of tensions, as you know, over access to some holy sites and the potential evictions of several Palestinian families from East Jerusalem have ended with these clashes. We've seen the video of rocket attacks from Hamas into Israel from the Gaza Strip. Some critics are now calling for the Biden administration to step in. Any indication from the White House if we will hear from the president on this?
We are expecting to hear more later this morning, as early as this morning, from the administration regarding what it is doing to engage the Israelis and Palestinians on this. We know since the weekend, the National Security Advisor, Jake Sullivan, was talking to his counterparts. The Secretary of State yesterday, while traveling overseas, obviously was speaking out against this, urging a cessation of the hostilities. But given the developments this morning in that region, certainly the White House is aware of it and is likely to say more about it in the coming hours.
All right. Ed O'Keefe for us at the White House. As always, my friend, thank you very much. I'll save you a piece of cheesecake.
Please do.
Next time I see you.